The ship shook hard as the tractor beam pulled it forward, held onto his seat and watched the massive space station grow bigger through the front window. It was the largest thing he had ever seen. The station was shaped like a flower with 12 petals, each petal glowing with different colors. This was the home of the Apex Council, the rulers of the known galaxy. "They are not asking us to come," said from the engineering station. Her voice was calm, but her hands were shaking. "They are forcing us." "I noticed," replied. He was the captain of the small exploration ship called the Wanderer. 3 months ago, they had left Earth on a simple mission: find new planets, make peaceful contact if possible. Nobody expected them to be caught by the most powerful group in the galaxy. Walked into the cockpit from the medical bay. He was a tall man with kind eyes and steady hands. As the ship's medic, he had treated many wounds and sicknesses during their journey, but he had never treated fear, and right now, fear filled the ship like cold water. "What do they want from us?" asked. "We will find out soon," said. The tractor beam guided them into a massive docking bay. The walls were made of something that looked like glass but felt alive. Lights moved inside the walls like swimming fish. When the ship landed, the engines died automatically. They had no control anymore. A voice filled the cockpit. It was not in any human language, but somehow they understood every word. The translation technology was far beyond anything Earth had created. "Human vessel, you will exit your ship. You will follow the guides. You will appear before the Apex Council. Resistance is not recommended." Looked at his crew. Was 28 years old, the youngest of them. She had short black hair and clever fingers that could fix anything. Was 35, older than by 2 years. He carried a small medical bag everywhere, even now. "We have no choice," said, "but we stay together. No matter what happens, we stay together." They nodded and walked to the exit door. The air outside was cold and smelled strange, like flowers and metal mixed together. Waiting for them were 3 tall creatures. They looked like birds with 4 arms. Their feathers were silver and their eyes were completely black. They did not speak but pointed down a long hallway. The humans walked. The bird creatures followed behind them. The hallway seemed endless. The walls showed images of different planets, different species, different wars. Realized these were histories. The Apex Council had been watching the galaxy for thousands of years. After what felt like an hour, they reached a massive door. It was 50 meters tall and made of pure gold. Strange symbols covered its surface. The door opened slowly, revealing a chamber so large that clouds floated near the ceiling. Inside sat 12 beings. Each one was different from the others. One looked like a giant snake made of light. Another looked like a mountain of moving rocks. A third was made entirely of water, shaped like a person but flowing constantly. These were the elders of the 12 most powerful species in the galaxy. These were the rulers of everything. In the center of the chamber was a small platform. The bird creatures pushed the humans toward it, and stood on the platform, feeling very small and very alone. The snake of light spoke first. Its voice echoed through the chamber like thunder. "You are the creatures from the planet called Earth." It was not a question. "Yes," answered. He tried to keep his voice strong. "We are humans, we come in peace. We are explorers, not invaders." A strange sound filled the chamber. Realized the beings were laughing. "Peace," said the rock mountain. Its voice was deep and slow like grinding stones. "Every new species says this word, peace, but we have learned that words mean nothing. Only biology tells the truth." Biology whispered. The water being raised what looked like a hand. "The Apex Council has existed for 50,000 of your years. In that time, we have met 472 species. Some were peaceful. Some were dangerous. Some tried to destroy us. We learned long ago that the only way to know a species is to read their blood." Stepped forward slightly. As a medic, he understood blood better than the others. "You want to test our blood?" "Not want," the light snake said. Demand. This is the law of the Apex Council. Every new species must provide biological samples. We will read your DNA. We will learn what you truly are. Only then will we decide if your kind may exist in our galaxy. Felt cold, and if you do not like what you find. Silence filled the chamber. That silence was the answer. The test will happen now, announced a being that looked like a floating brain covered in crystals. One of you will provide blood. The machine will read everything. Your history, your potential, your threat level. A small machine floated down from somewhere above. It looked simple, just a metal box with a needle attached, but could feel the power inside it. This machine held technology beyond human understanding. I will do it, said. He was the captain. He would not let his crew face this danger first. Grabbed his arm. We do not know what this will do. We have no choice, he replied softly. He gently removed her hand and stepped toward the floating machine. The needle was long and sharp. It moved toward his arm like a living thing, closed his eyes and felt the cold metal pierce his skin. Blood flowed into the machine. Red human blood, the same blood that had flowed through humans for millions of years. The machine hummed. The 12 beings leaned forward, watching with ancient eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the machine began to shake. Warning lights appeared around the chamber, red and orange and yellow, flashing in patterns that clearly meant danger. The beings of the Apex Council stood up from their seats. Some of them stepped backward. The light snake hissed and the rock mountain rumbled. What is happening? The water being demanded. What is this reading? Looked at and they looked just as confused as he felt. The machine's screen flickered. Then words appeared in the air above it, translated into every language at once. Words that would change the galaxy forever. Read them and did not understand. But the Apex Council did. And for the first time in 50,000 years, the rulers of the galaxy felt something they had forgotten long ago. Fear. The warning lights painted the chamber in shades of red. Every alarm in the station seemed to be screaming at once, pulled his arm back from the machine and pressed his hand against the small wound. A single drop of blood fell to the floor. Around him, the 12 most powerful beings in the galaxy were in chaos. The light snake had grown twice its size. Its body flickered between bright white and deep red, showing emotions that humans could not name. The rock mountain was crumbling at the edges, pieces of stone falling from its body like sweat. The water being had lost its shape completely and was now just a spinning ball of liquid. Impossible, said the crystal brain. The machine must be broken. This reading cannot be correct. The machine has never failed, replied a being that looked like a giant insect with wings of glass. In 50,000 years, it has tested 472 species. It has never given a false reading. Then test again, shouted the rock mountain. Its voice caused the floor to shake. Test the other humans. 2 more machines floated down from the ceiling. They moved toward and with their needles ready, stepped in front of his crew. Wait, he said. His voice was small in this massive chamber, but somehow everyone heard him. Tell us what the machine found. We have a right to know. The light snake laughed. It was not a kind laugh. A right? You have no rights here, human. You are not members of the galactic community. You are test subjects. You are potential threats. Then what threat did you find? Asked. He kept his voice calm even though his heart was beating fast. We are only 3 people. We have no weapons. Our ship is tiny compared to yours. How can we possibly be dangerous to you? The beings of the Apex Council looked at each other. Something passed between them, a silent conversation that humans could not hear. Finally, the crystal brain floated forward. The machine does not measure weapons, it explained. It measures potential. It reads the history written in your blood. Every drop of blood contains millions of years of evolution. Every cell tells a story. The machine reads these stories and calculates what a species might become. "And what did it say about us?" asked. Her fear was turning into curiosity. As an engineer, she wanted to understand how things worked. The crystal brain hesitated. This was strange to see. These beings had ruled the galaxy for 50,000 years. They did not hesitate, but now something had shaken their confidence. "Show them," said the light snake. "Show them what they are." The crystal brain waved a tendril, and the air above the machine filled with data. Numbers and symbols and images flowed past like a river. Most of it meant nothing to the humans, but some parts were clear enough. A picture of a cell appeared, then another cell eating the first one, then that cell changing, adapting, growing stronger. "Your cells do not die when they should," the crystal brain said. "They fight, they adapt, they refuse to stop." More images appeared. A virus entering a cell, the cell destroying the virus. Another virus different from the first, the cell destroying that one too. Then a third, a fourth, a fifth. Each time the cell learned and became stronger. "Your immune system is beyond anything we have seen," the insect being said. Its wings were shaking. "Most species can fight perhaps 10 different diseases naturally. Some advanced species can fight 50. Your blood shows resistance to over 3,000 different threats, and when it meets a new threat, it learns, it adapts, it becomes stronger." His eyes went wide. As a medic, he understood what this meant. That is just how humans work. We get sick, we recover, we become immune. It is normal for us. "Normal?" The Rock Mountain's voice was like an earthquake. "This is not normal. This is terrifying. A species that cannot be killed by disease. A species that only grows stronger with each challenge. Do you not understand what you are?" Shook his head. "We are just humans. We are not special." "That is exactly what makes you dangerous," the light snake said. "You do not know your own power." More data filled the air. This time it showed physical information, body temperature, healing rate, pain tolerance, endurance levels. Each number was compared to the averages of other species. Each time the human numbers were higher, much higher. "You can survive temperatures that would kill most beings," the water creature said. It had reformed into its person shape, but it was trembling. "You can go without water for days. You can keep moving when your bodies are damaged. You can heal wounds that would be fatal to others." "Your planet tried to kill you," the crystal brain added. "For millions of years, everything on your world competed to survive. Predators, diseases, climate changes, natural disasters. Most species in the galaxy evolved on peaceful worlds. They became intelligent without becoming strong, but your kind became both. You are thinking predators. You are intelligent hunters. You are the most dangerous thing evolution has ever created." The machines reached and the needles pierced their skin and drew blood. The humans winced but did not cry out. They had experienced much worse pain in their lives. The machines hummed and processed. The Apex Council watched with ancient eyes. When the results appeared, they were the same as before. Species human. Origin Earth Solar System. Classification Predator. Threat level infinite. Recommendation immediate termination. 3 samples, the insect being said. 3 identical results. This is not an error, this is truth. Stared at the floating words. Infinite threat level. Immediate termination. He understood now why the council was afraid, but he still did not understand why they should be. "We did not come here to hurt anyone," he said. "We came to explore, to meet new species, to learn, that is all." "Your intentions do not matter," the light snake replied. "What matters is what you could become. In 10,000 years, your species will spread across the stars. In 20,000 years, you will have technology to match any elder race. In 50,000 years, you could rule this galaxy, or destroy it." "You do not know that," said. "You cannot predict the future." "We do not need to predict," the Rock Mountain said. "We have seen this pattern before. Your blood tells us everything. Every great empire in galactic history started with a species like yours, strong, adaptable, persistent, and each of those empires eventually fell into war, destruction, death. "So you want to kill us?" asked quietly. "Kill 3 people because of what humans might do someday?" The chamber went silent. The question hung in the air like smoke. "Not 3 people," the crystal brain finally said. "All people. The recommendation is clear. Immediate termination means destroying Earth itself, ending the human species before it can become a threat." Felt his blood run cold. Not just their deaths, the death of everyone, 8 billion people, every child, every parent, every friend, all of them gone, because of what a machine said about their blood. "You cannot do this," he said, his voice cracked. "You call yourselves the rulers of the galaxy, you say you keep peace, but killing an entire species because of fear, that is not peace, that is murder." "It is survival," the light snake said. "We have done it before. 37 species have been eliminated by the Apex Council. Each one showed threat levels beyond acceptable limits. Each one would have caused destruction if allowed to grow. We did what was necessary. We will do it again." Looked at his crew, was crying silently, had closed his eyes and was breathing slowly, trying to stay calm. They were going to die. Everyone was going to die. But was a captain. He had faced death before. He had survived storms and crashes and moments when all hope seemed lost. He would not give up now. "Then let me speak," he said. "Before you make your decision, let me speak for my species. Give us that chance. If you are truly the rulers of the galaxy, you must at least listen to the species you are about to destroy." The 12 beings looked at each other again. Another silent conversation passed between them. Finally, the light snake nodded. "Speak, human, but choose your words carefully. They may be the last words your species ever says." Stood alone on the platform, behind him, and waited in silence. Around him, 12 ancient beings held the fate of Earth in their hands. One wrong word could end everything. One right word might save 8 billion lives. He took a deep breath and began to speak. "You say our blood makes us dangerous. You say our bodies are weapons. You say we are built to survive and fight and never give up. And you are right. Everything you found in our blood is true. Humans are exactly what your machine says we are." The beings of the Apex Council stirred. They had expected the human to deny the results, to beg for mercy, to claim the test was wrong. Instead, he was agreeing with them. "But you made a mistake," continued. "You only read half of the story. Your machine looked at what our bodies can do. It did not look at what our hearts have done." "Hearts are just organs," the rock mountain rumbled. "They pump blood, nothing more." "In our language, heart means something more," said. "It means the part of us that feels, the part that loves, the part that chooses to help instead of hurt. Your machine cannot read that part." He turned to face all 12 beings as he spoke. His voice grew stronger with each word. "Yes, we are survivors. Yes, we have fought wars. Yes, we have hurt each other in terrible ways. Our history is full of darkness and blood, but it is also full of something else, something your machine did not measure." "And what is that?" the crystal brain asked. "Kindness," said simply. The word seemed to confuse the council. They looked at each other, uncertain what he meant. "I do not understand," the water being said. "Kindness is weakness. Kindness is what prey species show to avoid being eaten. Why would predators be kind?" "Because we choose to be," replied. "That is what makes us different. We have all the tools to be monsters. We have the strength, the intelligence, the endurance. We could conquer and destroy and take whatever we want. But we also have the ability to choose not to, and that choice is what defines us." He pointed to, "This man has spent his life saving people. He has worked through nights without sleep to help strangers. He has given his own blood to keep others alive. Your machine would say his blood is dangerous, but he uses that strength to heal, not to harm." He pointed to, This woman can build anything. She can take broken machines and make them work again. She can create tools that make life easier for everyone around her. Your machine would say her mind is a threat, but she uses that intelligence to help, not to hurt." "Pretty words," the light snake hissed. "But words change nothing. We have seen your history. We have watched your planet for generations. You have wars happening right now. Your kind kills each other every day." "Yes," admitted. "We are not perfect. We make mistakes. We hurt each other, but we also try to fix those mistakes. We build hospitals to heal the wounded. We create laws to protect the weak. We teach our children that kindness is better than cruelty. Every generation we get a little better. Every generation we choose peace a little more." The insect being spread its glass wings. "You speak of choice, but our records show that humans rarely choose peace when war is easier. You fight over land. You fight over resources. You fight over ideas. Your species seems addicted to conflict." "We fight because we care," said. "Think about what that means. We fight for our families. We fight for our friends. We fight for strangers we have never met simply because we believe they deserve better. Yes, sometimes we fight for wrong reasons, but often we fight for right ones. We fight against injustice. We fight against cruelty. We fight to protect those who cannot protect themselves." He stepped closer to the council, his voice rising. "You call us dangerous because we never give up, but think about what that means. When a human makes a promise, they keep it. When a human makes a friend, they protect them forever. When a human decides something is worth fighting for, nothing in the universe can stop them. That persistence you fear. It is the same persistence we use to love." The chamber was quiet. The warning lights had stopped flashing. The alarms had fallen silent. The 12 ancient beings were actually listening. "You showed me the data from our blood," continued. "You showed me how our cells fight and adapt and survive. But you did not show me everything, because those same cells also do something else. They work together. Billions of cells in every human body, all cooperating, all helping each other. That is not the behavior of monsters. That is the behavior of a species that understands the power of unity." Stepped forward to stand beside her captain. "He is right. Humans are not solitary predators. We are social creatures. We build families and communities and nations. We share food with each other. We teach our children together. We take care of our old and sick. If we were truly the monsters your machine suggests, we would have destroyed ourselves long ago. But instead, we grew. We spread across our entire planet, and we did it by working together." Join them on the platform. "I have studied human biology for 15 years. I know what our bodies can do, but I also know what our minds can do. We feel empathy. We understand the pain of others. When we see someone suffering, something inside us wants to help. That is not weakness. That is strength. The strength to care about someone other than ourselves." The 3 humans stood together, facing the rulers of the galaxy. "You have a choice now," said. "The same choice humans face every day. You can give in to fear. You can destroy us because of what we might do, or you can take a chance. You can trust that we will use our strength for good. You can believe that our persistence will help the galaxy instead of hurt it." "And why should we take that chance?" the light snake asked. Its voice was quieter now, less aggressive. "What guarantee can you offer?" Smiled sadly. "None. That is what trust means. You cannot be certain, you cannot know for sure. You can only choose to believe, and I am asking you to believe in us. Not because we are perfect, not because we are safe, but because we are trying. Every day, every hour, every moment, we are trying to be better than we were before." The crystal brain floated closer to the humans. Its many eyes studied them with new interest. "In 50,000 years, I have never heard a species speak like this," it said. "Most species deny their darkness. They pretend to be innocent. They claim to be peaceful when their blood says otherwise, but you admit your flaws, you acknowledge your danger, and you ask for trust anyway." "Because that is what humans do," replied. "We know we are flawed, we know we make mistakes, but we also know that we can be better, and we spend our whole lives trying to prove it." The 12 beings began their silent conversation again. This time it lasted longer. The humans could only wait and hope. Finally, the light snake spoke. The Apex Council will consider your words. We will study your history more carefully. We will look for this kindness you speak of, but we make no promises. The decision about your species will take time. How much time? Asked. Perhaps days, perhaps years, perhaps centuries. We do not hurry. We have learned that quick decisions lead to regret. Nodded, we will wait. And while we wait, we will prove to you that we are worth saving. Perhaps you will, the light snake said. Or perhaps you will prove that our machine was right all along. Either way, the universe will learn the truth about humanity. The only question is whether that truth will be written in stars or in ashes. The guards returned to lead the humans away. But this time they were not prisoners. They were guests. Uncertain guests with an uncertain future, but at least they were still alive. And for humans, that was always enough. 3 days passed on the Apex Council station. The humans were given a small room with beds that adjusted to their body shapes and food that tasted like nothing they had ever eaten before. Guards stood outside their door at all times, not to keep them locked in, but to keep others away. Word had spread about the test results. The entire station knew about the species with infinite threat level. Spent most of his time staring out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth. Somewhere out there, 8 billion people were living their normal lives, not knowing that their existence hung by a thread. He thought about his mother, who was probably watering her garden right now. He thought about his old friends from school. He thought about all the people he had never met but would die to protect. Worked on her communicator trying to boost its signal. Maybe she could send a message to Earth. Maybe she could warn them. But the station blocked all outside signals. They were truly alone. Read medical information from the station's database. The council had given them limited access as a gesture of goodwill. He learned about the diseases that had wiped out entire species. He learned about the plagues that still threatened the galaxy. And he started to understand why the council feared human immunity so much. In a universe where a single virus could end a civilization, humans were like walking armories of biological weapons. On the 3rd day, a visitor came. The door opened and a small creature walked in. It looked like a child made of leaves and branches, with eyes like drops of honey and a voice like wind through trees. It introduced itself as Bora, a name it had chosen because it sounded similar to human names. I am a historian, Bora explained. I study new species. The council asked me to learn more about your kind. Invited the creature to sit with them. What do you want to know? Everything, Bora replied. But let us start with something simple. Tell me about your families. So they talked. For hours, they shared stories about their lives on Earth, spoke about his mother who raised him alone after his father died. He talked about how she worked 2 jobs to send him to school. He talked about how she cried when he left for space and how she made him promise to come home safe. Talked about her younger brother, Minyu. He had been born sick and spent most of his childhood in hospitals. Had become an engineer because she wanted to build machines that could help people like him. Now he was healthy and working as a teacher. She showed Bora a picture of him smiling in front of his classroom. Talked about his grandmother who had been a healer in a small village. She used plants and traditional medicine when there were no hospitals nearby. She taught him that helping others was the most important thing a person could do. She died when he was 17, and he became a medic to honor her memory. Bora listened to every word. Its honey eyes grew wider with each story. This is strange, it finally said. Your blood says you are apex predators, but your stories say you are caretakers. How can both be true? Because humans are complicated, answered. We are not just one thing. We are many things at once. We can be hunters and healers. We can be fighters and lovers. We can be destroyers and creators. The choice is ours. Bora nodded slowly. I have studied many species, Most of them are simple, they follow their nature without question. The hunters hunt, the builders build, the healers heal, but humans seem to be everything at once. Your nature does not limit you, it gives you options. Is that bad? Asked. I do not know, Bora admitted. It is certainly rare, perhaps unique. The Council has never encountered a species quite like yours. Over the next few days, Bora returned many times. It brought other historians and scientists. They asked questions about human art and music and literature. They wanted to understand why humans created beautiful things even when survival was hard. They wanted to know why humans fell in love even when love brought pain. They wanted to know why humans dreamed of the future even when the present was difficult. The three humans answered every question. They showed videos of children playing. They played recordings of orchestras performing. They recited poems they had memorized in school. They told jokes and watched the alien scientists struggle to understand why certain things were funny. Laughter, one scientist said. We have seen this in many species, but none of them laugh as much as humans. What purpose does it serve? It makes us feel good, explained. When we laugh, our bodies release chemicals that reduce stress and pain. It brings people together. It helps us survive difficult times. You have evolved to find joy in darkness, the scientist said. That is remarkable. Most species shut down when facing hardship, but humans seem to grow stronger. 1 week after the test, the Apex Council called the humans back to the Great Chamber. But this time, things were different. The warning lights were gone. The atmosphere was calmer. The 12 ancient beings looked at the humans with something new in their eyes. Not fear, something else. The light snake spoke first. We have studied your history more carefully as we promised. We have watched your wars and your crimes, but we have also watched your kindness and your courage. We have seen parents sacrifice themselves for children. We have seen strangers help strangers for no reward. We have seen your scientists work to cure diseases that killed their own families. The Rock Mountain continued. Your blood does not lie, you are dangerous. Perhaps the most dangerous species this galaxy has ever produced, but danger is not the same as evil. A knife is dangerous. Fire is dangerous, but both can be used to help or to harm. The choice belongs to the one who holds them. The crystal brain floated forward. We have made our decision, but before we announce it, we must tell you something. Something we have never shared with any other species. The three humans held their breath. 50,000 years ago, there was another species like yours. They came from a planet similar to Earth. Their blood showed the same readings. Infinite threat level, apex predators, perfect survivors. What happened to them? Asked. We killed them, the light snake said. There was no pride in its voice, only sadness. We destroyed their world before they could spread to the stars. We believed we were protecting the galaxy. We believed we had no choice. And now, whispered. Now we wonder if we were wrong. The Rock Mountain's voice was heavy with ancient regret. That species might have become our greatest ally. They might have helped us solve problems we still face today, but we will never know because we were afraid, because we chose death instead of trust. The water being reformed itself into a more solid shape. We have carried that guilt for 50,000 years. Every member of the Council, from the beginning until now, knows that story. It reminds us that fear can make monsters of anyone, even those who claim to protect peace. Felt tears forming in his eyes, not for himself, for a species that died 50,000 years ago because the universe was too scared to give them a chance. So now we face the same choice again, the crystal brain said. Do we repeat our mistake? Do we let fear guide us? Or do we finally learn from our past? The chamber fell silent. Every being present knew what was about to happen. History was about to change. The light snake rose to its full height. Its body glowed brighter than ever before. The Apex Council has reached a decision regarding the species known as humanity. The light snake's words echoed through the massive chamber. Every being present held still. The air itself seemed to freeze, and stood together on the platform, their hands finding each other, holding tight. Whatever came next, they would face it together. The Apex Council has watched humanity for longer than you know, the light snake began. We first noticed your planet when your ancestors learned to use fire. We watched you discover language. We watched you build cities. We watched you reach for the stars. And through all of it, we waited. We wanted to see what you would become. The Rock Mountain continued the speech. Many times we considered destroying you early, when you created weapons that could shatter mountains, when you built bombs that could poison the air for generations, when you fought wars that killed millions of your own kind. Each time we gathered and debated. Each time we almost chose death. But we did not, the water being said, because each time we looked away from your darkness, we saw something else. We saw the mother who worked 2 jobs so her son could reach the stars. Its eyes turned too. We saw the sister who built machines to save her brother's life. It looked at. We saw the grandson who became a healer to honor his grandmother's memory. Its gaze moved too. The 3 humans felt their hearts beating faster. The council had been watching them, not just today, for their entire lives. You are not the monsters your blood suggests, the crystal brain said. You are something far more interesting. You are monsters who choose to be kind, predators who protect the weak, survivors who share their strength with others. In all our 50,000 years, we have never seen anything like you. The insect being spread its glass wings, catching the light and scattering it across the chamber like 1,000 tiny stars. The recommendation from the machine was clear: immediate termination, infinite threat level. These words have sealed the fate of 37 species before you. They should have sealed yours as well. Felt's hand squeezed his. But the machine only reads blood, the insect continued. It does not read hearts. It does not see choices. It cannot understand that the most dangerous creature in the universe might also be the most loving. And so, for the first time in 50,000 years, the Apex Council chooses to ignore the machine's recommendation. A wave of relief washed over the human so strong that nearly fell to his knees, let out a small cry of joy. Just stood there, unable to speak, unable to move, unable to believe what he was hearing. Humanity will not be destroyed, the light snake announced. Instead, we offer something that has not been offered to any species in 10,000 years. We offer membership, not just trading rights, not just travel permits, full membership in the Apex Council. Found his voice. Membership, you want us to join you. We want you to help us, the Rock Mountain said. The galaxy faces challenges that our older species cannot solve. We have grown comfortable. We have become slow. We have forgotten what it means to fight for survival, but you have not. Your blood remembers every battle. Your cells still carry the fire of competition. You have something we lost long ago. What is that? Asked. Hope, the water being answered. Pure, stubborn, unreasonable hope. The belief that tomorrow can be better than today. The faith that effort matters. The trust that kindness will be returned. These feelings have faded from the elder species. We have lived so long that we have forgotten why life matters. But humans remember. Every day you remember. The crystal brain floated down until it was at eye level with the humans. There are problems in this galaxy that require your unique combination of traits, diseases that need your adaptive immune systems, conflicts that need your persistence, mysteries that need your creativity. We could try to solve these problems alone, but we believe we will solve them faster with humanity's help. Looked at his crew, was crying again, but these were happy tears, was smiling wider than had ever seen. They had come to this place as prisoners. They would leave as partners. What would membership mean? Asked. What would we have to do? You would have a seat on the council, the light snake explained. Your voice would be equal to ours in all decisions. Your ships would have free passage through all council space. Your scientists would have access to all our knowledge. and in return you would share your strength with us, your persistence, your hope, your stubborn refusal to give up even when everything seems lost." "This is a great honor," said softly. "But I am just a medic, is just an engineer, is just a captain. We cannot speak for all of humanity." "Then return to your planet," the rock mountain said. "Tell your leaders what has happened here. Let them decide. We will wait. We have learned to be patient." Nodded slowly. "We will need to explain everything. The test, the reading, your fear and your choice. It will not be easy. Many humans will not trust you." "We know," the light snake said. "Trust must be earned. We are prepared to earn it. We will share our technology. We will help your world become stronger. We will prove that our offer is genuine." "And if humans decide to refuse?" asked. "If they choose to stay alone?" The council members looked at each other. Another silent conversation passed between them. "Then we will respect that choice," the crystal brain finally said. "You have taught us something important. You have shown us that the power to choose is more valuable than the power to destroy. If humanity chooses solitude, we will not force you to join us, but we hope you will not. The galaxy needs you, more than you know." The ceremony that followed lasted for hours. The humans were given official documents recognizing Earth as a protected world. They were given communication devices that could reach the Council from anywhere in the galaxy. They were given maps showing routes to hundreds of other species who were waiting to meet them. When it was finally over, the three humans walked back to their ship. The Wanderer looked small and old next to the massive Council station, but it was home. It had carried them across the stars and would carry them home again. As they prepared for departure, Bora the historian came to say goodbye. "I have added your story to the great archives," Bora said. "Future generations will study it. They will learn about the day the Apex Council chose trust over fear. They will learn about the three humans who spoke for their species with courage and love, and they will wonder what humanity will become." "What do you think we will become?" asked. Bora's honey eyes sparkled. "I think you will become exactly what you choose to be, and that is the most exciting thing in the universe. A species that can choose anything, that can become anything, that refuses to be limited by blood or biology or fate. The galaxy has never seen anything like you, and I cannot wait to see what happens next." The Wanderer's engines hummed to life. The Council station opened its massive doors. Space stretched out before them, endless and full of possibility. Sat in the captain's chair, took her place at the engineering station, stood beside them, his medical bag ready for whatever came next. "Setting course for Earth," announced. "Estimated arrival time 3 months." Smiled. 3 months ago they had left Earth as explorers. Now they were returning as ambassadors. They carried the fate of their species in their hands. They carried the hope of the galaxy on their shoulders. It should have felt heavy. It should have felt terrifying. But it did not. Because they were human, and humans had been carrying impossible weights since the beginning of time. They had carried children through fires and friends through floods. They had carried dreams through nightmares and hope through despair. One more weight meant nothing. "Take us home," said. The Wanderer shot forward into the stars. Behind them, the Apex Council watched until the tiny ship disappeared from view. For the first time in 50,000 years, the rulers of the galaxy felt something new. Something they had never expected to feel when they first encountered the strange, soft, stubborn creatures from the blue planet called Earth. They felt hope. And somewhere in the endless darkness between stars, 3 humans carried that hope toward a world that did not yet know it had changed. A world that would soon learn it was not alone. A world that would have to choose what kind of neighbor it wanted to be. Knowing humans, they would probably argue about it. They would fight and debate and disagree. But in the end, they would choose to be kind. Because that was what humans did. That was what humans had always done. And that was what made them infinite.